Hey, how's it going, everybody? Down here in Florida, we're going through a little bit of a hurricane, so having some connection issues, but it looks like everything is working out right
First
now.
of most and all important thing is to always make sure that you get your screen set up for the day. So I'm just doing that right now. I will take a look at everything in a bit, and we'll go over what the game plan is for the day. I just need one more document. All right, let's take a look at what's going on. And once again, any questions or anything that you guys want to do, make sure that you guys are using the public trading chat. That's where I will be looking at for any kind of questions or any cool things like that. All right, so good morning, 9:16. Let's see what we can do is first, I'm just gonna pull up the market net flow because I like to keep that in mind to see what's happening. And then I have a few charts that I look at on the side just to kind of base all right. So let's take a look at SPY real quick. All right, so yesterday's is going to be removed. All right, so we have the pre-market low at 378.72. So I'm just going to put that in here for my 378, 358.72 is the pre-market low. And I always like to write everything out and keep an eye on it, just because that's just the way I like to do certain things. I'm gonna remove this. I'm gonna remove that one. Pre-market support, we can remove that one. Remove this one, and this is the pre-market. But yesterday's high was what was this one? 370.40 was yesterday's high, so I'd like to put that in there. That was yesterday's date, 370.40. So always making sure that you have everything lined up. Yesterday's low was 360.87. So let's put 360.87 there. The properties, and this was 927 low. We want to have that all in here. So when we do our analysis, we can kind of see what happens, all right? And then yesterday's close was 363.38, 363.38, 38, oops, 38. This was yesterday's close, so 927 close. All right, so I don't need this one. All right, oops, I do need this. Edit. All right. right. All right. So we had 365.20 was acting as some sort of support resistance, which is the same concept that we can utilize today. And that is pretty much where the pre-market high is. The pre-market low obviously is at 358.72, and the low for yesterday was 360.87. So what I like to do is take a look at, okay, where is there support during the pre-market levels, right? So when I kind of zoom in and I see that that low was acting as support, and the next area of some sort of resistance that we can kind of see is at the bottom of this week, which is 362.78. So how do we play into a position to get into calls or puts? Well, base right now, we saw that it kind of went up above yesterday's close, so we're at 363.38. That is where my indicator would be to get into puts, targeting 362.18, potentially down to 360.87, and then the pre-market low at 358.72. For me, for calls, if the 363.38 can hold, or the break above 365.20, I would look for calls targeting, different price actions all the way up to 370.40. So when I kind of take a look at yesterday's movement, I would take a look at 368.58 would be one of my areas where we can potentially see resistance and then the drop down. Okay, and I look at that because that is basically where the candle had a hard time closing above, rejection, and then the fall, right? So kind of understanding that, okay, what certain price levels is going to be kind of key for the day. So that's pretty much it for that. So what I'm going to do for you guys and ladies and gentlemen is I'm going to put in here where your calls and your put entry should be at. If you want to play off of the levels, it's completely up to you. Let's see. So I'm going to do wrong one. All right. So I'm going to say here. Okay. So calls above 365.20. Target price. Okay. Put here target prices. 368.58, 370.40, 371.04, 373.63, and last but not least, 375.58. 85. If 363.38 holds, can go for calls target pre-market high. All right, for puts below, if 363.80 3038 does not hold, target prices is going to be 362.18, 360.87, 358.72, 357.06. Could get a bounce there. If not, 355.21. All right, so those are certain levels that I have for you guys, and you guys could also keep, keep this in mind just for future references too, because they all kind of like play around with each other. So yeah. Okay, let me just remove the studies for you guys so that way it's a little bit more cleaner. All right, so I want to make this one chat and so you guys can see it a little bit better. Right here could work out. All right, here you go. All right, so I am going to screenshot this and I will put this in the public watch list for you guys, okay? So this is for today's date, which is 9/28. All right. So have that for you guys. Let me just add this in here. Public. Put it in the public watch list. All right. So that is for you guys to take a look at. It's in the public watch list. You guys can utilize it if you guys want to. Completely up to you guys. But I like to keep that in there for me. Just because that could be a position or a play that I can look to get into. And now I'm going to look at Apple real quick because we got a little bit of time here before the market opens. I'm keeping the video here. Let's look at Apple. I have Apple, and I'm going to put Tesla here. And I'm going to do Amazon here. All right. All right. So let's look at Apple, right? We had a nice little drop on Apple. So we cannot utilize the watch list now, obviously, because of the scenario that we just happened, right? So if I wanted to get into a play, and if I'm doing like a short-term kind of play, I would look for calls above 148.49, targeting 149.63. That's pretty much where the drop initially actually happened. And then obviously the pre-market low, which was at 145.61, right? So I would kind of want to see how that level kind of holds out to see if we get a bounce back towards there. If I want to get into puts, I would probably look to target around 47.18 for that base and break below to target that 145.61. Now, you are going to get some sort of support level sitting, prior to that, right? So I could see about 140. Let me see, where can I see some support? I can see some support around 146.79. I can see a little bit of a support at around, just based off of what these candles are doing, 146.30, and then back down towards that 145.61. Now to the upside, like I said, I want to see a break above 148.49, targeting 149.63. And if that holds, look for it to come back towards that 150 area, right? So just a couple of different scenarios that it can pretty much hit 149.92, right in that area, and then we can potentially see 150.71 and further up, right? So it all depends. Like I said, it depends on how this market decides to open. 147.18, you could try to look into getting into puts targeting 146.79. That would be a little bit more of a safer entry. Would probably be around that 146.79 for that quick move down to 146.30, and then following towards 145.61. Now, where can price go below that? Price could actually definitely go down to that 140.57 area. I would kind of have to look a little bit further back to see where kind of, I do have it on some of my other chartings. Let me see where we have price can go to, right? So we got price that can go to 144.92, 143.80, 142.56, and 141.29. So I have so many different price levels, along with my fib levels inputted. So right now, where it kind of rejected at was 148.50, right? Just keeping an eye on my other previous positions. So I would look for calls, like I said, above 148.50, targeting 148.83, and then all the way up to 150. Or even like where the initial sell-off happened around 149.50. So that's just basically what I will be looking at. Like I said, it puts around 145. If it breaks below 146.05, we can definitely see 144.92. So puts around one. This is an area where you kind of might want to get into a put position or not, but that 146.88 looks very tasty for puts. So I'm actually going to use this one instead of the other one. All right, we've got about 30 seconds left before the market opens. Good luck, traders, today. Make sure you guys do not let your trades go red. Anything that's green, have a nice little stop loss or a trading stop, so that way you do not get FOMO'd out of a position. Got 10 seconds left before the market opens. Good luck today, traders. Let's take a look. What happens today? Right. Personally, I like to wait for about 5 minutes for the market to kind of settle and kind of do its thing before I get into a play. But Apple's already making that move back up to that 148.50. And if it breaks above 148.50, we can definitely see a position going a little bit more. So I might I might try an Apple play just off of the get-go just to see if it works out. I do have puts already in place, but I'm not too worried about those right now. And the contracts are still pretty much higher for me right now, so I really don't care for getting into a play right now. That's why I said I like to wait for like 5 minutes to kind of see how the market reacts. But I will be looking for some long-term calls. Probably look at some November calls. Anyways, this is like an opportunity to see if you want to get into a play, especially if it breaks out 148.50. We can definitely see it going up. If not, we can see that rejection coming back down. Okay. Just same thing with with SPY. We're still trading in my calls and my puts area. Just keeping an eye on that. Let's see. And then if you guys are looking at anything or you want to look at anything, let me know. And I will, I'll pull the chart up and we'll go from there. I'll try to pull the chart up at least, and we'll kind of go from there. Jay Powell speaks at 10:30 today. So any kind of moves that you want to make, you should try to make it before Powell speaks, or you wait till after he speaks. All right, so it's coming down towards that 363.38 area. If it falls below, like I said, you could try to go into a put position, targeting that 362.18, right? So it'll be pretty much like almost $1 drop to the downside. You're right, nothing crazy. Upside. All right, I am going to I am going with a 3. Contracts are still a little pricier right now. All right, I'm gonna go with a 358 put here on SPY. Just because I see a little bit of weakness. So I'm in a 358 put for $76. Okay. And I'm gonna hold it, just because I can. So this is a risky position. 358p 0.76. All right. So let's see if I am correct on this and see if I do see some sort of weakness. I know I kind of got early. I usually like to wait a little bit longer, about 2 more minutes before I get into a play. It's just I saw a little bit of weakness, liked it. Let's see if I can have this go below to make it red. Would be pretty awesome for the position. Right now I am up about 5%, well 7% here on the play. Here we go. 10% play. So if anybody that got in, 14%, 17%. Right. So if you're in multiple positions or multiple contracts, you can start scaling out. We're at 20%, which is about $18. Profits 23%. All right, so we might get this stopped out, right? So basically, this is kind of where that little pre-market support area is at. So 23% start scaling out. Do not let the trade go red, right? So right away, 23% in the morning. There you go, 23%. Scale out. Excuse me. That basically kind of roll right into like that pre-market level where it kind of just bounced up off of, right? And so, that's basically where it got to. It didn't get down quite down to my 362.18 area just yet. But that's basically your exit strategy, if it couldn't get there, right? So understanding that you still made 20% off of that play right from the morning, within what, 2 minutes, not even 2 minutes. So, like I said, don't let the trade go red. But you can hold if you like to, completely up to you. But the first play given to you guys was a 20% play. I'm still holding on to the position because we got so much time on it. But most of you that, you want to take profits around 20%. That's a phenomenal place to get profits off of. And if you take a look at Apple, once it broke that 147.56, what do we say? 160, 146.88, 146.05. It hit all our both targets on the downside right away, right? So now you got to be cautious. Does it hold here at 146.05, or do we make that push towards that 145, 145.61? You have these tweezer little bottoms here on the 5. Now that your 5-minute kind of candle has already closed, and this candle is closed, it's an inside bar on the 5-minute. So what I will be looking for is a break below 362.57, or or if this can go above 364.52, you can look to get into calls targeting that 365.20, right? So that's going to be another new area that I will be looking for calls, is if we can break above the high, which is at 364.57. Okay, so if I'm going to get a little bit bullish, that is now going to be my call entry. A break in base above this candle, this opening 5-minute candle, would signify at least that little pump towards that 365.20, and then the pre-market high, which is at 37. Okay, so keeping that in mind and just kind of playing by ear. Apple is getting, it's still kind of weak right now, but that you already had a great put entry. Had you paid attention to the morning details, right? Like I said, I was just getting into SPY. I already have Apple puts that I'm holding overnight. So for me, there's no reason for me to get into another Apple put position. I'm going to look at where there is going to be some sort of support, potentially going a little bit long into November calls. But that's just what I'm going to do. Doesn't mean that you guys have to do that. It doesn't mean that I am trying to be bullish. But with the news that came out, it's kind of overdone with that news. But anyways, there goes Apple. Right, here's it. It's going to test that pre-market low. 45.61. We want to see how it kind of reacts to that. All right, let's see if I can get SPY going back down and hitting another low for the day. If not, it's going to be an interesting scenario, meaning that we might try to have like a little bit of a rally. If I can't get another low for the day, it's going to be, like I said, it's going to be interesting. But mind you, we've only got 8 minutes to the market open. Gave you guys a 20% play within a few minutes. If some of you are holding, great. If not, you still made 20%. I'm still holding. They're back up about 13%. All right, Amazon, keeping an eye on Amazon here, same thing. That 114.46 break in base, I will look to get into calls. If not, I can see a rejection happening and trying to retest certain levels that are around that 112 level. So I'm just going to keep an eye on Amazon at the same time. There goes Apple, hit its low. This is why we don't grab into calls right now on Apple. Puts would have been phenomenal if anybody got into those puts at those levels that was provided. Like I said, my puts are up nice right now from the ones I grabbed from yesterday. $145.45. Let me go into my other chart real quick. See that hit that 145.61 pre-market levels. Trying to bring this back up to above 145. If this fails, like I said, we can definitely hit towards the 140s, the low 140s. So this is going to be an important zone. Yeah, definitely a good idea to start scaling out if you have those those long-term puts. I'm probably going to do the same thing. What I'm going to do is I'm probably going to move the position that I have. I'm trying to figure out what kind of profit taking do I want to do with them. Let's see. I have. All right, so I am going to do something stupid. Okay, because I want to sell my Apple puts. I'm going to do a trailing stop for Apple. And I'm just going to kind of ride the contracts over to a further out the money play off of this level right here. And I'm going to actually look potentially to get into Apple call at the same time for November. Just kind of see what I want to get though. Do I want to do something cheap? Do I not want to do something cheap? We'll see. Not yet. And this is why, like, I have my trading stop loss. So no matter what, I'm going to make profits off of the Apple play. What I ended up doing is the profits that I utilized that I'm getting off of it, I'm just getting that contract for that, pretty much that profitable price, right? So I just like going that route because I'm not emphasizing on too much of my capital, and it's more about making sure that I secure a good amount of profits. So you see why I haven't gotten out of the play yet is just I'm just going to let Apple do its thing, and until I don't get stopped out of my first position, I'm not going to get into a call, and I'm just going to let that kind of ride out. I have way out the money puts, right? So I have 120 puts for December, and they're up 33%. So like I said, like I'm taking my profits with a trailing stop loss. What I did was I grabbed a $100 put for Apple for the same strike. And it's a cheap play. So for me, it's like, I'm not worried about it because I'm using partial of my profits for that play. And that's just the way I like to do certain things. And like I said, eventually I probably would look to get into a call for November, probably November, mid-November. I always do monthlies. Anytime when you get these low levels for SPY, for Apple, or whatever, I like to do monthlies. And that's just the way, I like to do certain things. Anyways, looking at a few things. Sorry, the bounce, nice little bounce off of the 145. Not too bad. A lot of people are going to get trapped here. I feel like if we don't break through, let's take a look at SPY 364.57, right? I want to see that break above to target into those calls. So I'm keeping an eye on calls at the same time. Calls for SPY that I will be looking at would probably be around the 368 calls. If it breaks the level that I want it to break, to jump into calls. So I'm keeping an eye on All right, so I got stopped out on my Apple, but I still have my, the other Apple puts no matter what. So here it is, 367, 364.57. Does it hold? Does it break through? Let's take a look. So far, we got a nice little rejection there. See where this rejection holds. If I want to see if 363.72 area, if it comes down to there, I might just do like a cheap one. I might do like a 370, just a little cheap one. I don't want to spend too much money this early in the morning. If it breaks through 364.57, if it could hold, which it didn't, right? Like, it made a high for the day. It definitely did. And we didn't, that 5-minute candle, right? That's what I'm looking at, that 5-minute candle. And I want to see how that 5-minute candle interactions is. So all the people that do not know how I trade, right? So on a 5-minute candle, on the opening 5-minute candle with Apple or with SPY, I like to take the top of the wick, the bottom of the wick, or the bottom of the base, the top of the base, and I play off of those levels. And it works out pretty well. Look at that dump on Apple afterwards. Woo, woo. Good thing I'm still in puts on Apple. All right, so we missed Amazon. While I was looking at everything else, we missed that Amazon play, right? So that 114.46 level that I talked about to get into a call position, it just hit 115.27, and then nice little rejection there so far. Tweezer tops on NVIDIA for people that are looking at NVIDIA. That's an interesting tweezer tops there on the 5. Might drop Amazon tweezer tops on the 5. Let me see what I want to do. Oh, I still have Amazon puts. Okay. Still have my Amazon puts. Still up on those. NVIDIA. Options. I might grab a put on NVIDIA here. Not yet. So, could be risky, but I don't want to be too risky. It's looking weak. All right, so I will grab puts if it breaks below 124.79 is where I look to get into some puts on NVIDIA. Okay, so Apple's trying to hold on to that 145 area, 144.84. Hitting pretty much almost all my price targets that I wanted. 144.92. See that? It's just understanding your price action, the price of. So if 144.92 breaks, the next one down is 143.80, and see how 143.80 acts. All right, so it's interesting buying that just happened on that 5-minute candle. All right, I am going to be a little bit risky here. I'm going to hedge it since I have different positions open and I can't for some reason get it on my phone. So I'm going to grab a 370 call. Shit, see, by the time I came already, it's already up. Fuck. The stupid phone didn't want to hit that. Now I'm gonna chase it. Shit. Oh, I was trying to get it for 38. It's already at 42. All right, fuck it. I'm just gonna chase it. Excuse my French. I'm sorry. Excuse my French. I completely forgot. We're on public live stream here, and I'm cursing out a storm here. Um, Cursing out a storm. I'm still holding my puts though, and I'm just kind of having fun with a marker right now. Um, Yeah, I definitely rolled one out. I want to see how that 144.84 holds because the next target is 143.80. Nvidia's still strong there. There we go. Get that nice little push there that I needed. I'm in Nvidia calls, so I definitely want Nvidia to kind of jump up since I have long-term calls. Q's looking a little bit strong there. Let's see if it can bounce up and hit that 375.36. Come on, SPY. Amazon. We missed that entry on Amazon. That was a beautiful entry on Amazon. All right. So you got triple tops happening on SPY at the 364.57. All right, so that's the big thing, right? So if we cannot break and hold above that 364.57, puts is going to be the thing. Okay, so I want to still see if it can make that towards that 365.20. See how it acts at 365.20, and if it can't. And if I start seeing these candles still closing below the 364.57, we're going to, I feel like we're going to end up coming back down and testing the lows again for today's lows. If it all depends on these 5-minute candles and how it kind of interacts, right? So this is a nice little push up on Apple. Let's see how 146 acts, if it's going to act as a resistance or not, to go long or not on Apple. I am going to try a Tesla call. Let's see. I'm gonna try I don't even know which one I'm gonna try. All these buying wicks are happening on tests. I'm gonna try a 295 call. All right, this is getting ridiculous now. Sorry, my phone's just not cooperating today. Give me a sec. I gotta like restart my phone because by the time I do it on, I haven't set up my active trader, so. All right, yeah, SPY's looking a little weak. Having a hard time at these 5-minute, these 365 area, 364.57 areas. Still has no candles closed above it on the 5-minute time frame so far. We got about less than a minute to go to see how it reacts. I need it to close above. Kind of need it to close above. If not, I'm gonna have to exit the calls. The video is looking strong. Still looking a little strong. But I needed to break above. See how this candle closes on the 5. Everything's on the 5-minute time frame. I like to look at the 5-minute time frame to see how the candles kind of close. You see SPY having a hard time closing above 364.57 on the 5-minute time frames. That indicator is like if it can't close above it, it's going to come back down. So I'm just letting people know that if you are in calls, be careful because it's getting weaker. Right, these candles are getting weaker on 5. Right, you have sellers that are sitting at that opening candle. The opening 5-minute candles high they're just sitting there, even though we made higher highs for the day, but the candles have not closed. Right, so a lot of people don't look at that and they're like, oh my god, it's going to go up because we have higher highs. Yes, and we also have lower lows. Higher lows, absolutely. But the problem is that none of our candles is still closing above that 364.57. Right, you have to have that strong close above 364.57 eventually, because if not, we're going to come back down and retest the lows. It's just right now, it's just that range, and I believe it's doing this because of you have power speaking around 10:30, so we might just have that choppy, that chopness. So I just be careful here on SPY. Amazon. That rejection at 115.27 looks interesting for a put play, but then right now the trend is bullish, so I wouldn't really try to look into getting a put play. I would more think about getting into a call play if my EMA2, like I'm looking at my EMAs right now, and what's important for me is that the candles are above, and for me, when the candles are above it, it's more of a sign that it's going to come up. Apple volume at 30 million 1 hour. Yeah, it's crazy. Apple's volume is ridiculously crazy right now. But there's still no indicator to get a little bit bullish just yet on Apple. Like I want to see certain levels break to the upside. I'm never looking to call the bottom. I'm always looking for that trend reversal, right? And for me, that trend reversal, or at least some sort of trend reversal, is when it breaks above that 146.05. I will potentially look to get into a call at that time, just targeting 146.88 and then potentially at 147.56, right? So it has to break certain levels for me. Personally, like I would rather wait till we hit 146.50-ish because this could easily come back down and kind of get rejected, right? So just be cautious. Let's see. Finally, my 5-minute candle. Like I want to see this closes. Been waiting, just waiting. Let me see let me look at the 15 real quick on SPY, what it's doing. All right, so there's a lot of buying that's happening right at 363. So they're trying to buy it up on the 15. This does look like tweezer bombs that formed earlier, very close to it. So it all depends on how this 15-minute candle kind of closes. Let's take a look at the 10. 10 seconds the same, 15 seconds the same. All right. Still in my calls. There goes Tesla. I was just having a hard time with Tesla trying to get into a call play. You guys have any questions? I gave you one play. Sorry, that's the only play that I gave you guys. 23% play. Just haven't liked anything after this opening. Apple was like the play. Like if we would have just played that one, like some of you guys should have played it based off of the opening scenario. Oof. Nvidia looks like it's gonna drop. What do we got? How many more time we got? These trees are tops on the 5-minute time frame on the video with the doji candle at the top. That could signify a little bit of a drop. Not too crazy, but it could start. Trees are tops now, forming on the 15 on SPY. Still having a hard time closing about 364.57. Instead, like it's just interesting what it wants to do. It's getting higher highs for the day, but none of the candles are closing above 364.57, right? And that's what you had to pay attention to. A lot of people don't pay attention to that. So these are just wicks as sellers, buyers. Sellers are just sitting there, sitting at this 365 zone and just offloading the contracts right now. And this is going to trap people. So it's going to have to make a move. Finally, there's that 365.20 that I wanted, right? So it hit that 365.20. Been saying let's hit that mark. Here we go. Let's see what it does here. There we go. Let's get that break. Come on. Calls are now up 16%, 24%. If anybody got into these calls, up 32%. So start scaling out for that position. Let's see, where did it get rejected at so far? 365, 78-ish. All right, where are we looking for price to go to? 368.58. Does it get there? Let's take a look at yesterday and see where is price stopping at. So we're looking at about 366.23. Did price get rejected exactly at 365.88? Let's take a look at that. 365.88-ish. We are talking about SPY calls. Grabbed a 370 call earlier. That's what we're talking about. I didn't type that in there. I don't think I typed it in there, but that's basically it there. All right, so price got rejected right at around that 365.88 area, which is kind of interesting. That's basically where the sell-off actually began yesterday. Let me just go back here. Yep. All right, that's where the selling actually started, was in this zone. 365, 365.88, and 365.20 is where we started the sell-off yesterday. But some nice little 20% gainers on that position. Huge rejection there. Huge rejection there. And let's see how low this thing can get to. Huge rejection. There's that drop on the video, right? We talked about tweezer tops or the doji top method on the 5. But this is still strong right now. We haven't really had a trend reversal on the video. SPY just rejected at 365.88, basically where the sell-off began yesterday. So you should have been able to get out of profits in that 20% profitable pay. Like I said, Amazon, if it breaks below 114.46, look to get into puts, targeting 113.63. Apple failing, right? Like I like to wait for 5-minute candles to close or to come close to closing. Imagine you getting into a call at, at the top of that 146 area and you're like, oh my God, what do I do now? Because obviously it came down right below that 146.05, right? I like to, like I said, personally wait until the candle closes on the 5 to kind of give me that, okay, yes, this is a good play to get into. But when you have the sellers are sitting with that wick on the 5, that 5-minute candle wick can still get filled. It's just, not a good vibe. You could have definitely got into a quick, if you were quick with that play, that play happens so fast. That move happens so fast. And if you're not quick enough, you're going to, really get hurt on the position. So that's why we say that you had to be cautious here. We're still, it's if buyers actually did want to really step in at that 144 area, we would have definitely made a big move towards that 148, 148.50-ish area, right? That would have been a big move to the upside. However, you still have sellers sitting there, and this is all for moneymakers to cash in on their puts. All these 145 puts that that were loaded, you know, they're just going to cash out their puts, right? This is the perfect time for them to, because they're almost, they're in the money. They actually got into the money at 144.92, but I'm still suspecting that 143.80 area to kind of test that out, even potentially that 141.29. I think I believe we'll probably bounce right off of 139.80, 139.89 is where I see a bounce off of. Maybe not today, but that could be an area that I would look at, is that 139.89 area. But that's that. Here comes SPY. Let's see how we can go.
Hey, Romeo, it's Matt. Can I make a comment real quick?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I just want to say thank you, because everybody here just understands I came on just to listen to Romeo, see what's going on. About 10 minutes ago, he was talking about the top candle of the SPY and how it was rejecting. And I said, oh, shit. And they said, if you're in calls, just be careful. So what did I do? I logged off. I was like, I'm not watching the market right now. So I logged into my positions. Ford was just over $12.02. It went to $12.04. I got out of those on the high. I got out of my UVXY puts. As Romeo was saying, that the UVXY drops to $12 and 45 cents, right? And I get out of my puts there, and minimal loss. But the point is, all of a sudden it went from 12.45 to 12.70, went up a whole 25 cents within 5 minutes of Romeo warning everybody, hey, just be careful, because it seems to be rejecting. So we all listen, we all take, whatever Romeo is saying to help our own strategies. You don't have to just, play his picks or your picks or whatever it is. But I just want to say thank you, because every now and again, I tune in, I want to see what you're saying. It's always good stuff. And this time it was beneficial to me, rather than waiting on the side and going, you know what, he could be wrong. I still think it's going to be green today. Rather than riding the elevator, I said, okay, let me get out. He's telling me I'll probably get a better position if I want to get back in. So I just wanted to come on and just reaffirm what you're doing. Although people take it different ways. Oh, he didn't say this was a trade, or he didn't say that. He says various things that are extremely helpful depending on when you're listening, and they all make sense. So thank you, Romeo. I appreciate that.
Not a problem, buddy. Not a problem. Thank you. Yep. Always, go, it's all about your positions, right? And just giving you guys, like, I'm not always going to give you guys entries and exits, that I say that this is what I'm getting into. I gave you guys one play on there, that was a 20%, 23% play. For me personally, I'm still holding on to one, a contract or two for that. But understanding, like, okay, well, I like to, like I said, everything is about, where the candles are closing and how things are kind of closing out to get into a position for me. I never chase anything that I don't like. Yeah, so we were asking, the video looks like it could start getting a little fall there. That 5 minute opened, that 5 minute candle at 9:55. If you guys take a look at that 5 minute candle, that's a huge 5 minute candle doji hammer inverted, right? And that basically was a tweezer top at the top. That is a good try, to get into your put position, but understanding where your risk level is and when to get out of the position. So always minimizing your risk. And just like with SPY, we hit that 363.38. That's a close level from yesterday, right? And you see how they were trying to bring it right back up. This is all we're getting right now, until it decides that, okay, well, we're going to go one way or the other. This is pretty much where it's trading within the vicinity of that opening candle, right? That opening 5 minute candle, there's no candles that closed above the top of that wick, and there's no candles that close at the bottom of that wick so far, right? So we're all just trading in a very tight range right now. Regardless of these little wicks that you guys are getting, to the upside, that 365.80 area, that rejection, but none of the 5 minute candles have closed above that opening 5 minute candle. And that's what I want you guys as traders to understand that, and it works out perfectly. If anybody is in the premium side, when we streamed yesterday, the same thing happened. We played off of that 5 minute candle. And that's it. You know, just continue playing. So there's really no reason for you to become bullish just yet. The market is not showing any reason to become bullish right now. So you have to play the trend. You can scalp into calls, absolutely. There are a few stocks that you can definitely look into. Shit, man, sorry, Nvidia just dropped nicely where I wanted it to get to, that 124.79. Let's see how it holds that. If that 124.79 can hold, and if it holds, we could try to push back towards that 126. If not, it can get back down to 124.51. Probably like right around about 124.52, and then potentially retesting, almost retesting low for the day. But I think that 124.14 should be the next stop if it can sustain 124.79. Apple went below 363.38, kind of coming back up a little bit. It's just going to be shenanigans right here. And I want to see some strength or some weakness, right? And playing off this trend, this is just chop fest right now. So be cautious in any of the plays that you are looking at. Just be very cautious. I'm seeing a little bit of call buying going up, but selling going down, but it's too early for the day. DEX is still red, but just be cautious. That's about it. Powell and 5. Yeah, Powell. I think Powell's at 10:30, I believe. So just be cautious with this. Generally, like, I only come on for until about 10 o'clock. Gave you guys a bit of extra time because it is on the public side, but understand your levels, right? I give you guys your watch list. Said, hey, this is where you guys want to get into calls or puts, and just play off of that, right? Like, look at just, even though we're not going to be streaming, just keep an eye on those two figures, right? So we're looking at 364.57, and you want to look at 362.59, right? So just keep that in mind. Write that down. You could also see it on there, but 364.57 and 362.59. Those are your two key areas, your two key numbers that I want you guys to pay attention to. No other trader is going to tell you that. Keeping attention to those two numbers today. You want your candles to close above 364.57 to get into a call. Keep it on the 5-minute candle, and then on the bottom side, 362.59. If that breaks, we can see that 362.18, and then further down, as stated in the watch list, right? So right now, like I said, we're playing in a very tight 5-minute candle, and just keep an eye on that. That's all you gotta do. Other than that, have a great day, peoples. I'll see you guys a bit later. Thank you for joining today, and hope you guys learned something. Bye-bye.